Than 190 Stellantis employees at the Sterling Heights assembly plant are being laid off. The vast majority are seasonal supplemental employees originally hired to cover those summer vacation vacancies.
Carlos Tavares just made a huge announcement about Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep, sparking both concern and curiosity within the automotive industry. See, Stellantis, the parent company of these brands, and more like Fiat and Maserati, is really facing a tough time right now. It's almost as if we're witnessing the end for these iconic brands. But how did we get here? What the heck happened? These were supposed to be legendary automakers by now, right? Is this the end? Well, the difficulties they're dealing with have stirred up significant worries about the future of the entire automotive industry. These brands, all part of the Stellantis family, aren't just facing external pressures. They've been dealing with internal issues too. It seems like every move they make is plagued by bad decisions that are piling up on one another. But let's be clear, this situation extends beyond mere missteps. So what's really happening behind the scenes? One thing you gotta really understand is that the challenges that Stellantis is grappling with are actually a reflection of a much larger trend rippling through the market. And guess what? It's us, the customers, who are going to bear the brunt of it all. As we take a closer look, it's clear that we're staring at a fundamental shift happening in the automotive landscape. It's not just about this one company or its brands, it's a signal that something bigger and more systemic is at play. The truth of the matter is that this prolonged struggle undermines consumer confidence and, ultimately, loyalty to those brands we've come to know and love. It raises a lot of questions about the direction these manufacturers will take next. How can they recover? What's the plan moving forward? The answers to these questions could shape the future of automotive options that we as consumers will have in the years to come. For now, Tavares has emphasized that Stellantis is reevaluating its strategy for these brands in the middle of these declining sales and rising production costs. And now, the company is facing criticism for increasing vehicle prices. But before we get into the details, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out. The numbers don't lie. The current landscape for Stellantis brands is rather shocking and deserves your attention. Over the last 5 years, sales for Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler have taken a nosedive. I'm talking about an eye-popping decline of 39%. And if that sounds grim, just wait. Dodge sales have plummeted a staggering 67% since hitting their pinnacle back in the year 2013. That's right, it's a major drop. Jeep hasn't had an easy ride either. It has suffered a 44% decrease from its peak in 2018. With only 642,924 vehicles sold in 2023. Can you believe that? Those numbers haven't been this low in over a decade. So what does this mean for the industry? The repercussions of this sales slump are impossible to overlook. Dealerships are feeling the heat as buyers redirect their attention to more attractive options. Remember the excitement that once surrounded new vehicle launches? That buzz has quietly faded, leaving many would-be buyers feeling uninspired and ready to explore alternatives. Plus, Stellantis is practically drowning in unsold cars. Seriously, it's a considerable pileup. Reports from March 2024 reveal that they have a jaw-dropping 1.4 million new vehicles just collecting dust in their inventory. What caused this mess? Well, one significant factor was the production adjustments made while wrestling with previous supply chain hurdles. Initially, there was a push to ramp up inventory, but as sales took a downturn and market dynamics shifted, they were left with an overwhelming amount of product that's become nearly impossible to move. And here's the thing, the vast majority of these vehicles are outdated models. Many have lost their appeal and simply don't align with what today's informed consumers desire, especially in hot segments like midsize SUVs. Therefore, Stellantis brands are showing shockingly high days supply numbers, indicating that cars are stuck on dealership lots for far longer than the industry deem acceptable. You might wonder how Stellantis ended up in this situation. The answer can be boiled down to what the Stellantis National Dealer Council has been talking about. And their focus was squarely on none other than CEO Carlos Tavares. Their main concern, they're pointing at his short-term decision-making as a major contributor to the company's declining market share as well as diminishing dealer revenues. This isn't just noise, it's a significant issue that raises eyebrows everywhere. Dealers versus Stellantis. In a straightforward letter dated September 10, 2024, the dealer council didn't hold back. They expressed that Tavares' approach appears more focused on immediate financial gain rather than fostering sustainable long-term growth. Sure, his strategies may have provided a brief profit boost, enough to fill his pockets nicely, but dealers are soundly protesting. They claim that this short-sighted view is causing severe damage to brand equity and market positioning. The council's warning: if things keep progressing in this direction, disaster is on the horizon, and they believe we're already witnessing these troubling predictions come to fruition. Adding fuel to the fire, dealers feel increasingly isolated as they confront mounting challenges with insufficient support from Stellantis. They particularly criticize the company's recent choices to cut marketing budgets and tweak compensation structures, adjustments they argue are choking dealer profitability. Thus, many dealers find themselves caught under a crushing burden of unsold vehicles cluttering their lots. This situation is a quick path to financial strain and growing dissatisfaction across the dealer network. The council emphasized that Tavares' cost-cutting measures, though originally designed to enhance profits, are actually backfiring spectacularly. For example, tying dealer compensation to vehicle shipments as opposed to actual sales leaves many dealers in dire straits financial-wise. And it doesn't stop there. Layoffs and plant closures are adding to concerns about the stability of Stellantis' operations in North America for the long haul. So what's really going on behind the curtain? Let's break it down to understand the main hurdles they face. There are 3 significant challenges at play here. Let's break them down one by one. Market versus Stellantis. Look, whether you like it or not, in order to make a sale, you need to listen to the people, right? So what did Stellantis do? Well, it is a bit wild. First, there's the troubling shift away from traditional engines. This topic is hot and controversial, my friends. Stellantis is making waves with their new Hurricane twin-turbo inline-6 engine, which seeks to phase out the beloved traditional V8 engines in several models. Promoted as a tech marvel, this new engine claims to offer better fuel economy and lower emissions, while still pumping out power comparable to those revered V8s. Sounds exciting, right? But hold on to your hats. Not everyone is ready to embrace this change. Both dealers and consumers are expressing significant concerns. Take a moment to consider the feelings of those loyal to Dodge and Ram. These longtime enthusiasts love the muscle and power of V8 engines. Naturally, they're skeptical about moving towards turbocharged 6-cylinder engines. They worry that this shift might diminish the exhilarating driving experience they've come to expect. When you think of Dodge or Ram, what's the first word that comes to mind? Muscle. Power. It's part of their identity. Next, let's analyze the broader market reaction to this major shift. The Hurricane engine represents more than just a routine innovation. It's woven into Stellantis' larger strategy to enhance fuel efficiency and significantly cut carbon emissions. However, here's the kicker. The acceptance of this change among consumers is far from guaranteed, especially given that traditional performance is still highly valued. Will consumers warm up to this new technology, or will nostalgia for their roaring V8s hold them back? The ongoing debate about performance versus efficiency is another layer to this conversation. The Hurricane engine is crafted to strike a balance, featuring low inertia turbochargers for speedy throttle responsiveness and cutting-edge fuel injection technology for optimum efficiency. But some critics argue that this transition could alienate dedicated buyers who remain loyal to that classic V8 experience. This disconnect has already begun to impact sales significantly as potential buyers compare options with rivals still offering those powerful V8s. But that is not the only thing that is causing Stellantis to lose sales, which brings me to the next factor that got them here in the first place. Poor strategies. Stellantis is lagging behind its competition when it comes to adapting its spending on incentives, and this is an important issue. While rival car manufacturers are ramping up discounts and enticing finance options to accelerate sales, Stellantis has held back in their promotional efforts. This conservative approach has placed their dealers at a serious disadvantage, making them feel sidelined in this competitive marketplace. Let's return our focus to the dealers. They're truly in a bind. Financial pressures are building as they face an avalanche of unsold inventory. Combine that with the glaring absence of support from Stellantis, and you have a perfect storm of obstacles facing these dealers. Many are crying out for help, overwhelmed by the cost of holding on to so much unsold stock, and it's a situation that could lead them into significant financial losses. Imagine the anxiety of watching your inventory just sit there and gather dust. Unfortunately, this situation situation is made worse by a mounting demand for enhanced support from Stellantis. The National Dealer Council is not holding back. They are urging Stellantis to step up its incentive programs. Why is that the focus? It's all about tackling that excess inventory and empowering dealers to fight for survival in this rocky market. If Stellantis doesn't enhance its incentives, there's a genuine fear that the backlog of unsold vehicles will balloon even further, jeopardizing the financial futures of their dealers. It's becoming increasingly clear that some critical changes are necessary to help these dealers regain their footing. But what's the third issue then? Pricing model. Now, let's take a closer look at rising prices amid falling sales and what that really signifies for Stellantis. Sales numbers are slipping, especially for Jeep, which saw a 9% drop, and Ram facing a staggering 20% decline. As a response, the company has opted to raise vehicle prices. What's their reasoning? To safeguard profit margins even as demand continues to shrink. But hold on, a strategy like this could be backfiring, and in a major way. So what are the potential fallout scenarios? Affordability is becoming a significant issue. Elevated prices are scaring off potential buyers, especially in today's marketplace where wallets are tightening. With rising interest rates and pervasive economic uncertainty, consumers are now approaching purchases with much greater caution. Who wants to fork over a higher price for a car that may not deliver on performance or features? And get this, the combination of rising prices and dwindling sales has culminated in an unprecedented inventory jam. As of March 2024, Stellantis reported an eye-popping 1.4 million vehicles just sitting there in inventory, a figure that far exceeds the industry's typical expectations. This excess inventory complicates matters significantly as dealers grapple with the daunting task of selling vehicles that not only risk becoming outdated, but are also marked with price tags that reluctant buyers are unwilling to consider. Consider this: dealers are feeling trapped, struggling to move cars that simply don't connect with consumers at this moment. With both prices rising and sales plummeting, it's like brewing a perfect storm that no one wants to be part of. Can Stellantis pivot quickly enough to regain traction in this chaotic market, or are they barreling toward an even larger disaster? Your thoughts on this pricing strategy? Let's unpack the details of these car brands together. This is a conversation worth having. Chrysler. Chrysler is navigating through some tricky waters right now, and it's facing significant challenges that are sending ripples throughout the brand. The core of the issue seems to stem from its limited vehicle lineup, which is becoming an increasingly pressing problem. Can you believe that Chrysler currently offers only two models? We have the classic Chrysler 300 sedan, which has long been a staple in the automotive industry, and then there's the Pacifica minivan, a family favorite. But here's the kicker. This dilemma raises serious questions about Chrysler's future sustainability in the ever-competitive automotive market. Let's take a closer look at Chrysler's vehicle offerings, which honestly are rather alarming. As it stands, drivers looking for a new Chrysler have just those two options, the Chrysler 300 and the Pacifica. This lack of variety isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's a big red flag when we consider how it places Chrysler at a huge disadvantage against competitors who are showcasing a much more diverse lineup. If you take a moment to look around at today's automotive landscape, it's clear that SUVs and crossovers are all the rage. Over the last several years, the automotive scene has undergone an evolution, and traditional sedans like the Chrysler 300 are having a tough time keeping up with the changing preferences of consumers. Meanwhile, although the Pacifica has its merits, particularly as a minivan, the sales figures alone are not enough to keep the Chrysler brand afloat in such a challenging marketplace. Now, on to the topic of pricing. This is becoming a hot button issue for many consumers. When we look at Chrysler's remaining models, it's apparent that they might be feeling a bit on the pricey side compared to the competition. Taking the Pacifica as an example, although it's well liked for its family-friendly features and design, many potential buyers are gravitating toward other minivan options like the Honda Odyssey or the Toyota Sienna, which are often perceived to offer better value for money. This pricing strategy is proving to be a double-edged sword for Chrysler. It complicates their efforts to capture the attention of budget-conscious consumers who have a wealth of alternatives that are positioned at more attractive price points. While all of this is happening, there is a troubling trend behind the scenes at Chrysler that customers should be aware of: a blatant dismissal of suggestions for revitalization within the company. Multiple reports indicate that proposals aimed at reinvigorating the Chrysler brand have been largely ignored by Stellantis management. This reaction reflects a concerning lack of strategic direction for Chrysler as it navigates its future. Industry analysts and insiders are actively brainstorming various ways to breathe new life into Chrysler's offerings. Suggestions range from diving into the electric vehicle arena to launching new models that would better resonate with contemporary consumer preferences. Stellantis' CEO Carlos Tavares has made it clear that brand strategy decisions are shifting to emphasize performance metrics over the emotional ties connected to traditional legacy brands. While there's a practical side to this focus, it also raises a lot of red flags concerning Chrysler's long-term viability, as Stellantis juggles a sprawling portfolio filled with numerous brands that are all vying for attention. Chrysler's potential for growth might get overshadowed, leading to a concerning outlook for the brand. So what does this all mean for Chrysler's competitive position in the market? Well, the combination of a limited product lineup and high prices is progressively eroding its standing in a hyper-competitive automotive environment. As consumers begin to favor brands that provide a more extensive array of options at affordable prices, Chrysler risks becoming irrelevant. But what about Ram, where the pricing and model availability have created quite the puzzle for buyers? This is especially relevant considering the discontinuation of popular models and the sharp increase in prices driven by advanced technology features. Have you heard about the recent axing of popular models like the Ram 1500? For years, the Ram 1500 Classic served as the go-to entry-level option for countless shoppers in search of a trusted pickup without breaking the bank. Fast forward to the present day, and with this model phased out, buyers now face a significantly higher starting price of about $42,270 for the base model of the 2025 Ram 1500. In stark contrast, the Classic was priced at around $40,700, a jump that effectively leaves consumers without a more budget-friendly option to drive off in a brand new Ram truck. It's also essential to address the looming issue of affordability. The absence of the Ram 1500 Classic has ignited serious concerns regarding the overall affordability within the Ram lineup, with higher starting prices rolling out for new models and a noticeable lack of entry-level choices. Budget-conscious consumers are beginning to feel the pinch. This situation could push potential buyers to check out rival brands that offer models at a better price point for their wallets. It's like a chain reaction waiting to send them scurrying to the competition. As we transition to the rising prices for newer models, it's evident that the latest offerings from Ram, particularly the 2025 Ram 1500, are packed full of high-tech features and advanced options designed to elevate both performance and comfort. An exciting recent addition is the Hurricane engine family, which boasts a twin-turbo inline-six engine that replaces traditional V8s while also enhancing fuel efficiency without compromising on power. However, here's the catch. All this innovation means higher price tags for consumers. For the 2025 Ram 1500, the cost for various models starts around $42,270 for the base tradesman model. But wait, this is just scratching the surface. High-end trims such as the luxurious tungsten model can reach a staggering $89,070. And if you're eyeing ultimate performance, well, the Ram 1500 TRX comes with a jaw-dropping starting price of $98,335. That's quite a hefty amount to pay for a truck. Naturally, consumer reactions to these changes have been enlightening, with prices on the rise amid a decline in sales, evidenced by a significant 20% drop in Ram sales. Potential buyers are feeling the financial crunch. Economic uncertainties, ranging from inflation to rising interest rates, are causing buyers to hesitate before making a purchase. This reluctance can have a substantial impact on their buying decisions, pushing them to either postpone their purchases or explore alternatives that offer better value for their hard-earned cash. Now, let's add another layer to the complexities at play here by considering market competition. While Ram is busy raising its prices, competitors like Ford and Chevrolet are making smart adjustments to their strategies, enticing buyers with models that come with much more competitive starting prices. For instance, one can snag a Ford F-150 for around $38,960. With price tags like those waving alluring signals in the wind, it's no wonder consumers might be tempted to look elsewhere rather than remain loyal to Ram. But we are not done yet, because there is one other American giant who is struggling: Jeep. Jeep is currently facing significant challenges that could jeopardize its market position. Rising prices for new models have created a barrier for many potential buyers, as the cost of vehicles like the 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon can exceed $85,000. With configurations nearing the $100,000 mark, many consumers are starting to question whether investing in a new Jeep is financially sensible. Additionally, the increasing availability of used Jeep Wranglers offers savvy shoppers a more affordable alternative. Older models are often found at prices as low as $3,999, while nearly new versions still provide the rugged appeal Jeep is known for. This trend can divert potential buyers away from new models, impacting Jeep's sales figures negatively. Moreover, Jeep's competition is heating up. Brands like Ford and Toyota are stepping in with competitive pricing and attractive alternatives in the SUV segment. If Jeep cannot address the affordability issues consumers face, it risks losing its once secure foothold in a marketplace flooded with enticing options. The rising prices, combined with a robust secondhand market coupled with fierce competition, are prompting concerns regarding Jeep's future. If Jeep cannot adapt to this evolving landscape, it may find itself struggling to maintain its brand loyalty, leaving it vulnerable to decline in a rapidly changing automotive world. Plus, Jeep is trying to cut costs right now, and that means more layoffs, which is just awful for everyone involved. Stellantis needs to do something, but you know what? This is not the last of the company that is failing under their leadership. Dodge, which is currently navigating through quite a tricky situation. The brand is grappling with substantial challenges relating to inventory and product strategy, which are impacting its performance and relationships with dealers. So what exactly is driving this concern? Truth be told, there's a lot going on here. First up, let's consider the excessive inventory situation. We're facing a significant dilemma with the Dodge Hornet. This compact SUV has started to emerge as one of the least favored vehicles on the market, and it's easy to see why. By June of 2024, there was an astonishing 550-day supply of Hornets just languishing on dealer lots, which clearly indicates these vehicles aren't flying off the shelves anytime soon. Compounding this issue is the stiff competition in the compact SUV segment. Shoppers have an enticing selection of alternatives that potentially deliver better value for their hard-earned money. By looking at the sales performance, the figures paint a rather troubling picture. Only about 1,283 units have moved in the last 45 days, illustrating a striking disconnect between what Dodge has on offer and what consumers truly want. Dealers are now struggling with mountains of unsold inventory. They are piling up costs simply by holding on to vehicles that no one seems eager to buy. In addition to all of this, Dodge is pursuing a course toward electrification, and let's be glaringly honest, it's eliciting rather mixed reactions from both consumers and dealers. They've announced plans to replace traditional favorites like the Charger and Challenger with electrified models such as the Dodge Charger Daytona SRT. While this push aligns with broader industry trends leaning towards sustainability, it hasn't fully won over the dedicated fan base that loves the raw power associated with those beloved roaring engines. Consumer sentiment surrounding this electrification transition reveals significant unease, particularly among die-hard Dodge enthusiasts. The muscle cars that define Dodge's legacy are beloved for their unparalleled power and performance, yet the electrified alternatives have not been able to capture that same essence. There's a growing worry that these new electrified models might not deliver the exhilarating experience that loyal fans have come to expect, leaving them feeling let down. Additionally, we can't ignore the demand for classic models. Despite the clear enthusiasm for these iconic muscle cars, it feels as though Dodge's current strategy is completely overlooking this passionate segment of their consumer base. In phasing out these legendary vehicles without providing adequate replacements, countless loyal customers have been left feeling abandoned. Dealers are speaking up loudly regarding Dodge's product strategy, highlighting the strain they face in meeting consumer demand due to a glaring lack of desirable inventory. This disconnect is resulting in dwindling sales and increasing dissatisfaction among dealers, who may feel trapped in a losing battle against corporate decisions that simply do not align with the reality of sales and the preferences of customers. But what do you think about all of this? How do you feel about the current state of these iconic automotive brands? Let's know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.